The freezer aisle feels safe, clean, convenient, even healthy. But many frozen foods are engineered to look nutritious while quietly delivering excess sodium, sugar, cheap oils, and ultra-processed fillers. Some of these meals are worse than fast food. Stay to the end, because a few brands want you confused. Number 15. Frozen smoothie packs. Frozen smoothie packs promise fresh fruit, antioxidants, and clean energy, but many are bulked up with added fruit juice concentrates, sugar-heavy tropical blends, very little fiber. Once blended, you're often drinking liquid sugar with no chewing, which spikes blood sugar faster than eating fruit whole. They aren't toxic, but they're far less healthy than they appear, especially when marketed as daily breakfast replacements. Number 14. Frozen protein pancakes and waffles. High protein, fitness approved, clean breakfast. Flip the box. Most contain refined wheat flour, added sugars or syrups, soy protein isolates, seed oils. The protein looks impressive on paper, but the carb-to-protein ratio still triggers glucose spikes, followed by hunger an hour later. These aren't performance foods. They're diet food cosplay. Number 13. Frozen veggie burgers, highly processed varieties. Vegetable-based doesn't mean vegetable-rich. Many frozen veggie burgers rely on soy isolates, modified starches, industrial oils, flavor systems to mimic meat. The result? A patty that's technically plant-based, but far removed from actual vegetables. Some contain more sodium than a fast food burger. Not all veggie burgers are bad, but the ultra-processed ones belong here. Number 12. Frozen healthy burrito bowls. These meals are marketed to busy professionals who want clean eating without effort. But many bowls hide over 900 milligrams sodium, sugary sauces, white rice as the bulk ingredient. They look balanced, but nutritionally behave like salty carb bombs. You finish eating and still feel unsatisfied. That's not balance. That's manipulation. Number 11. Frozen French fries, especially seasoned versions. Potatoes aren't the enemy, but frozen fries are often pre-fried in seed oils, loaded with sodium, coated with flavor enhancers. Even baked at home, they deliver oxidized oils that don't behave like fresh potatoes. They're convenient, but far from neutral. Number 10. Frozen breakfast sandwiches. Eggs, cheese, protein. Sounds solid until you look closer. Most breakfast sandwiches contain processed meats, refined bread, stabilizers to survive freezing. Sodium levels often exceed half a day's intake before noon. They feel filling, but leave behind inflammation, thirst, and fatigue. Number 9. Frozen low-calorie diet meals. These meals are built around one goal: hit a calorie number. So manufacturers cut fat, protein, portion size, and replace them with fillers, gums, artificial sweeteners. You eat the meal, and your body asks for more food. That's not willpower failure. That's nutrient deprivation by design. Number 8. Frozen chicken nuggets, even natural ones. Chicken nuggets marketed as real chicken often contain reconstituted meat, breading soaked in oil, sodium levels that rival chips. Even premium versions rely heavily on industrial frying processes before freezing. Occasional, fine. Regularly, you're eating fried filler with protein traces. Number 7. Frozen mac and cheese, including organic brands. Organic pasta, organic cheese. Still a problem. Frozen mac and cheese often contains refined carbs, ultra-processed cheese sauces, emulsifiers that disrupt digestion. It's comfort food pretending to be health food, and portion sizes rarely reflect reality. Number 6. Frozen stir-fry meals. Stir-fry sounds fresh, but frozen versions often rely on sugar-heavy sauces. Final takeaway: frozen food isn't the villain, but ultra-processed frozen food dressed up as healthy absolutely is. If a meal needs 30 ingredients, flavor systems, stabilizers to survive freezing, it wasn't designed for nourishment. It was designed for shelf life and sales. That doesn't mean your freezer has to be empty. It means you need to understand what frozen food is actually good at and where it consistently fails. Frozen food excels at preservation. It struggles with processing. When whole foods are frozen quickly, without sauces, coatings, or chemical systems, they can retain nutrients remarkably well. Vegetables, fruit, plain proteins. In some cases, frozen versions even outperform fresh produce that's been sitting under bright lights for days. The problem starts when frozen food is no longer about preservation, but about engineering. Most frozen meals aren't built around nourishment. They're built around constraints. Must survive months in cold storage. Must taste acceptable after reheating. Must hit specific cost targets. Must look appealing on the box. To solve those constraints, manufacturers rely on the same tools over and over again: sodium, sugar, refined starches, seed oils, and texture enhancers. These ingredients don't just preserve food. They override your body's natural fullness signals. That's why so many frozen healthy meals leave you unsatisfied. Your stomach may be full. Your cells are not. This is where people get stuck. They assume hunger after eating is a discipline problem, a willpower issue, a personal failure. It's not. Ultra-processed frozen meals are designed to deliver calories without delivering nutritional resolution, the point where your body says, that's enough. So you snack, you graze, you eat again sooner than you should, and the cycle repeats. The freezer aisle quietly trains people to distrust their own hunger cues. Another overlooked issue is texture uniformity. Most frozen meals are soft, chewable, but not demanding, easy to eat quickly. That matters more than people realize. Chewing, resistance, and variety in texture play a direct role in satiety. Whole foods require work. Ultra-processed frozen foods slide down easily, and your brain registers them as incomplete. That's one reason a frozen bowl can contain 600 calories and still leave you wanting something else. Then there's sodium. Frozen food doesn't just contain salt, it relies on it. Salt preserves flavor after freezing, enhances sauces after reheating, and compensates for ingredient quality. But high sodium without adequate potassium, fiber, and protein creates a familiar outcome. Thirst mistaken for hunger. Water retention. Fatigue later in the day. People often blame themselves for feeling off after eating frozen meals. In reality, their electrolyte balance is skewed by design. Even the best intention labels don't solve this. Words like heart-healthy, low-fat, balanced, or diet-approved are based on outdated nutritional frameworks that prioritize numbers over outcomes. Low-fat doesn't mean filling. Low-calorie doesn't mean nourishing. Low-carb doesn't mean low impact. Food doesn't exist on a spreadsheet. It exists in a body. And bodies respond to structure, not slogans. This is why two frozen meals with identical calories can have completely different effects on hunger, energy, and mood. One respects biology. The other exploits it. The most reliable rule in the freezer aisle is brutally simple. The longer the ingredient list, the worse the outcome. If a frozen food needs gums, stabilizers, natural flavors, yeast extracts, and emulsifiers to function, it's compensating for something missing, usually real food. That doesn't mean frozen convenience is off limits. It means the safest frozen foods are often the most boring. Plain frozen vegetables, frozen fruit with one ingredient, individually frozen fish or chicken, simple starches without sauces. These foods don't promise transformation. They don't chase trends. They don't pretend to be meals.